Hey everyone, how you doing? Imran from Web Squadron. I am live once again. Not been live for a while. We've not done a live on the YouTube Web Squadron. The YouTube Web Squadron. The Web Squadron YouTube channel for a while. Been quite busy with stuff. Not just work related, house related as well. Just been doing up a few rooms, making changes here and there. Um, my son was off for a week from school as well, so I had to kind of manage a few things like that. I'm just going to get the window open. Please do let me know if the sound and audio is coming through okay-ish. Normally, I have this open from the get-go, but I've been a little bit lapse in getting my system up and running, which is actually quite bad of me. Anyway, yeah, please do let me know. Hey, B Informatica, how you doing? Yeah, so it's been quite busy, finishing off a few client projects. I've also been reflecting a little bit on the direction of the channel in terms of things I want to focus on. And you will have noticed that there's quite a lot. And Muzaffar, how you doing? Great to have you here. You will have noticed that I now do 4 videos a week. It might feel like 5 or 6, but generally it's 4 videos, and there'll be 2 what I call tutorial videos related to WordPress and Elementor. And then I'll have a couple of videos which are what I call talkies. It's where I'm talking mainly, not really showing off any screens or anything or tutorial, but it's more from a business point of view or productivity or sharing experiences that I've had in my life that have maybe shaped my direction or even my thought process in terms of how I like to work. Because I think it's quite important sometimes to remember that not everything in life, especially with regards to your business, is as simple and easy as here you go, drag a widget, pop in a code snippet, whatever, and everything is tickety boo, everyone's happy and wonderful. That's not really how life is, right? Especially when you're thinking about scaling or growing or starting a business or trying to get clients, or when you're in that situation where you're actually not getting clients or you've got a difficult client, or you suddenly stop to think about, why am I doing this? Is there any point continuing? And you could almost say, I'll just say hi to Chillster, how you doing? Pancho, good to have you. Lizanne, hope you're okay. Aries, how are you doing? Just finished sending cold emails for Lee today. Look, cold emails can be very hit and miss. Try to make them personalized to who you're sending them to rather than generic, and it might work in your favor a little bit more. Please do. I'm just going to double check. I think the lighting going through at the moment, there's a bit of a buffer issue, I think, with, I'm just going to pump up the resolution a little bit. Just got to change my camera coloring a bit. I have got my window open, by the way, or the curtain. So there's a bit of natural light coming in kind of thing. Lizanne, where am I from? I'm from the UK. I'm born in the UK. I'm nearly 47 years old. Nearly. I will be. I'm 46 at the moment. But born in the UK, born and bred. It's where I'm from. I know you're probably going to say, but where are you originally from? I don't think beyond me. I don't care about where other relatives or ancestors come from, because I always feel like your ancestors came from somewhere and their ancestors came from somewhere. So quite frankly, my entire ethos, methodology, my mojo, my life, everything from the UK, and that's how I operate. That's my being, me. Hey Robert, from Island of Martha from Island of Martha's Vineyard. Is that really like sorry, when you say Island of Martha's Vineyard, are you just saying that you're in Martha's Vineyard, but you call it an island because you like to seclude yourself away from everyone, and it's your, your zen, your place of relaxation? Or are you actually on an island called Martha's Vineyard? I don't think there is such a place in the US, is there? An island, Martha's Vineyard? Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, Muzaffar, really, 46-year-old, you look like 30. Yeah, a lot of people do say that. But you know what? Generally, I think it's down to how you feel and how you look after yourself. I'm not, a lot of my relatives, oh, it's an actual island. I'm going to have to look this up later now. Martha's Vineyard. A A lot of my friends have got very gray hair, some of them quite white. A lot of my relatives that are slightly younger than me are very gray. I'm not. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of them, I would like to say, and it's very true, because I know this is true. I don't know why I say it. I think it's true. It is true. They've had quite easy lives. Easy, easy, easy. And then as they get older, you know, when they hit their 30s, then the stress begins. I've had a stressful life from young. So for me, all the new stresses that come in, it's like, it's just another day, right? Just another day. What can you do? 7 miles out to sea. Thank you, Robert, for that. So what I was saying is about like, obviously with like WordPress and all of that, I'm branching out a little bit so that I'm not just doing videos that focus on Elementor and WordPress. I want to kind of share a lot of experiences because it's you're not going to get through life just by drag and dropping, okay? You have to understand that, you know, if you get your mindset right with how you plan your life or how you go through life in accomplishing tasks, but also thinking beyond the task and how can you make your life better, not just in terms of saving money, but what you spend and what you do with your family as well. If you start to think long term, if you start to think long term, it's going to help you out in the long term. I don't know if that really makes sense, but if you just focus on YouTube, that's a short term thing. You know, tomorrow people might start watching you. If you focus on just one business angle as well, it might work for a while and then it won't. And you have to think long term in what you're doing. Life's a drag and then you drop. Exactly. That's kind of what happens, right, Robert? You know? Right. So what I was going to say was, I just read that comment about Barack Obama spent his holidays on Martha's Vineyard as well. I'm going to have to look this up. Why am I not aware of this? So I'm just like thinking long term and ahead really, because, what was I saying? God, it's gone out of my head now. I was talking about YouTube and longevity and how things don't always last. So AI, okay, everyone has their own opinion of AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Is it really AI? Do we have singularity? All of this stuff, right? AI, in my opinion, is anything that helps us to be more efficient, where we're not having to do a lot of the thinking. It's kind of being done for you. And I know it's not proper consciousness, singularity, and all of that, but it is still AI. Now, AI is making things so much more efficient for us, but there will come a point where maybe a lot of stuff that you were being paid to do, people don't need you to do that. But that doesn't mean you can't pivot on what is the flavor of the month at the moment. So a big thing that is taking off, right, and it's being noticed a lot, and I don't think a lot of us are properly clued up on it, or even how to make it work for us, and I'm going to be looking into this a bit more, is how can you make AI help you to become more employable? So you can use AI to design logos and design wireframes and design social media messaging and articles and write a book, and you can do all of that. Create images, you know, you can use AI. But what we need to start thinking about is how can you use AI in terms of agents, in terms of like, you know, like a flow of tasks. How can you start to automate that kind of thing where you become more talented and more in demand by employers? Because you've got to start thinking about, eventually in the future, right? People are going to be pretty clued up on, right, I got a website, I got an Instagram page, I got a TikTok, I'm getting views and all of this. I don't need to overly worry about SEO. We have to understand now, right, that in the last, I think, 4 years, it slowly crept in and it took off, I think, in the last 12 months. SEO was a huge, huge thing, right? You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. Make sure you got your alt images, meta tags, meta descriptions, do all your Google console connections and all of that shit. Make sure you hit the, you know, get it all done. Every page, every article. These days, right, you could do zero SEO have the right person record a video or put on snazzy photos or whatever, and people dive into the article, dive into the website, buy the product. And these are people who have done like zero SEO. The video is the SEO now. The short content is the SEO. The fancy image, the animated GIF, that is the SEO now. And we're moving into an era where people aren't going to care about you turning up and going, yeah, we can sort out your Google tag and all of that shit. No one's going to care about that, okay? We're going to move into an era where people are going to want to know that you can automate sequences of things that fire off and do things, and analysis is pushed out and, you know, starts to tell you where the gaps and holes are and what can you exploit to work for you in your business. This is the future in terms of what we're moving to. Right, just looking at some of the comments coming in. Fernando, what is your opinion about WordPress headless? WordPress headless, Fernando, is pretty okay if you've got a very basic site. A lot of people will disagree with me on this, but if you have a website that's got like e-commerce and things like that, I don't think headless is the way to go. If anyone can prove me wrong in the comments, please do so. You can't post links, but if you can explain why I'm wrong there. But WordPress headless for basic sites. And WordPress headless, for me, is a really good way to do one-page websites. Think of Linktree. Linktree is so ugly. Image, name, and you get loads of links. There's a market ready for you to exploit. The trouble is, though, I'm going to come back on myself here now. Linktree you can do for free. You don't have to sign up. You're going to get a very basic layout. You want to do a bit more, you have to pay, but even then it's a basic layout-ish, right? You know, it's just links at the end of the day. Hey, Nick, hope you're all right, my friend. You could start to create and market Linktree alternatives with Elementor, any other WordPress, you know, page builder. One page which looks fantastic on the mobile and still looks pretty good on the desktop as well. But you got to focus for the mobile audience. You could now do fancier stuff, still trying to keep it all within the mobile interface. So you get more than just image, your name, and loads of links. You could now be a bit more creative, maybe having a contact form, a donate button, a gallery, a video that plays. You could do a whole lot more. But what you have to think about is, how do you make that cost efficient for the audience? Because they're going to go, I can do Linktree for free. But can you create a budget version? They're going to need a domain. They're going to need hosting. What about if you go do Elementor hosting? Because that comes with the domain. But then you got to think about the email. Professional businesses have a professional email, not just .gmail, not at gmail.com. But you could do that via Elementor hosting as well. When you click it, it allows you to do Zoho email, which is free. So for $140 a year, is that cost effective for a businessman? Because what I'm trying to get you to understand is athletes, lawyers, consultants, they probably haven't even thought about their website yet. They're killing it on Instagram. They're killing it on TikTok, but they haven't got a proper website. Or a lot of them are relying on Linktree. Now, as you grow, having a free Linktree account looks really unprofessional. So that's something I think a lot of people will have to start thinking about. But WordPress headless is good, but I don't think it is fully explained clearly to people that when you have an e-commerce website or you have a busy website with other stuff going on, the headless ain't gonna work for you. But I might be completely wrong on that. Color print, any plans to work on topics like a custom dashboard design? Do you mean custom dashboard as in WooCommerce or WordPress? Can you clarify that a bit, color print, just so I can get it into my head at the moment? Cinema info, should I design a website using a full width container or a specific default width? Where it all depends on your layout. It all depends on what you're showing. If a lot of your content is columnar, right, vertical, so image, text, image, form, then you can go boxed or full vertical. You can do what you want. Either way, it will look good because it works like that. If, however, you have content which is more row specific, so you might have text, image, form, maybe another image, a gallery, some other stuff going on, and then it might be a columnar, and then it goes back to row, and there's a bit of wrapping. Now you got to think about, how does it look? So on a laptop, it looks okay. On a 34 or 32-inch monitor, it kind of looks okay. But now things are a bit more like that. Obviously, on the mobile, everything will do this, right? You know, like the step. Now imagine you're on a 49-inch monitor. Oh, hold on now. Now things have gone like that and like that. And there's a huge space. Well, okay, don't worry about that. We'll make them both 50%. So now your text that was this big goes to that big. And your image that was that big goes to like that big. All of a sudden, your image is like that. And your text is like really thin because it's now all stretched out. If you got text like that and you stretch it out, it does this, right? So what is the layout? Does it work for you? So you've got to consider full width works based on the content. Full width image, brilliant. You know, loads of text, a carousel, gallery, testimonials, works quite well. Shop, yeah, you can do that. But depending on the content, I prefer to build 1200 pixel width. And I know you're going to say, but on a 49-inch monitor, it's only like that. Yeah, I know. But remember, when you're looking at the screen, our eyes kind of go like that. Why, when you have a teleprompter, are they only that big? Because our eyes do that and we scan and read, right? Imagine you got a 49-inch screen and you make everything go full width. And now to read it, I have to go like that. To read it, I'm going to get tired and bored of it, and I'll skip words and miss out important stuff. So you got to think about your layout. So the answer is, depends on your layout at the end of the day. And because I don't know what your content is, I can't fully advise. Sometimes I'll contradict myself and go, no, you got to go full width with that. But it very much depends on your content. So everyone's going to have a different opinion. And if anyone ever says to you, no, it's got to be full width, it's got to be boxed, but they have not seen your content, they're talking shit, because you can't base it just on an opinion. You have to see the content. Don't forget to smash the like button if you want to smash the like button, or don't smash the like button if you don't want to smash the like button. Dennis, I just started with bricks. It's a bit of a learning curve. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a bricks video in, well over a year now. But I have got a playlist where I covered off a ton of stuff. I would say a fair chunk of that is outdated based on the version of bricks. However, the concept of the settings, the hover, the active state, the class system, all of that, and building out pages with your section and your boxes and your divs and all of that, and your loop grid and your filters, your WooCommerce, will still be relevant. So there may be some features, new ones I've not covered because the videos are over a year old now, but I still feel like you may find some interesting stuff in there. Thanks, Dennis, for watching. Color print. Sorry, yeah, do you know what the thing is? Color print. As I'm talking, I sometimes miss out on stuff. You've seen a lot. You've seen lots of my front end design videos, but I haven't seen you trying to customize the clumsy WordPress dashboard. The reason why I don't do that is quite simply because you could break something, and WordPress is continually evolving, right? You could do something that messes around and then it breaks. So I don't like to do that. There are plugins out there that customize things. You're better off using one of them, because when WordPress updates to 6.8 or whatever, eventually, as it goes up in different versions, they will have to cover that and account for it. I've done videos on screen options, on widths, on stuff like that, on locking off some of the functionality, on removing stuff from the sidebar, locking the snippets, locking the users, getting rid of certain items and all of that. That is as far as I will go, because there is a big danger that I could spend a lot of time creating some code. Very few people will use it. But even those that use it, hey Beatrice, when it mucks up your WordPress because of a bit of code, I'll get the blame for it. And then, or when WordPress update, I then have to go, oh crap, now I got to go back and update my code. And then I don't want to be caught in that evolving door. because I'm going to have to revisit so much of my Elemental content when Elemental version 4 versions start to drop after Q2, I believe. I don't know if we're still on target for that, but in the next few months or so, we should hopefully get first sight of version 4 beta versions, I think. Cinema Info 24 says, I want to add 3 equal sized boxes in an Elemental container. How can I divide them evenly? So you've got your parent container, you drop your 3 child containers, you might go for a row, and you set the width of them to be 33% or 30%. You go and set that, and they will now be sized equally. You then said, how can I add a gap between the boxes without causing them to wrap to the next line? Well, you just go for a row. You just set it to a row without wrapping. If you've got a parent container, row wrap, they'll go on to the next line. If you go for row, 30% or 33%, 30% works out better because then you'll get a gap in between. Yep, absolutely, Nick. Estimated close to the end of Q2. I'm looking forward to it for many reasons. It means I'll have to revisit the Elemental course, which means hopefully people will buy the course. I'm going to be honest here. You know, people will buy the course. In fact, can I ask a question to all of you? So anyone who's watching right now or anyone who watches after this live chat has been broadcast, eventually there will be a version 3 of my Elemental course when Elemental version 4 is fully out. As it comes out in stages, I will cover it off in videos, but then I'll have to do a full-blown start to finish brand new course. Probably be similar to what I've put out in terms of layout, but what do you now have to think about differently in terms of building? Would you prefer it if I sold a brand new course? Look, we could be talking 9 months down the line before I rebuild a brand new course. So stay with me on this, okay? So here's the question. Would you be happy to pay for a brand new course? And even if you're not going to buy it, I want you to imagine you were in the market for learning, okay? Would you pay $100, say, for a brand new course? Or would you pay, say, $5.99 a month? Hear me out on this, okay? Would you pay $100 one-off, or would you pay $5.99 a month? And the videos for the course are not on my web Squadron. They're on YouTube, but they're in a members-only area. So YouTube allows me to have a members-only area. I never actually release much in the members area. I don't really see... I mean, I don't have the appetite to do that. But what would you go for? What would make it more easier for you to manage? Now, that does mean, though, that I might not release all of the videos, like rushing them out. Because when you have a course, you have to release all of the videos and content in one go. You got to have everything ready. So the course comes out, you can access everything. But if I went for $5.99, it means that I could release it in stages. So I could be doing, like, say, I don't know, 3 or 4 videos a week. 3 or 4 videos a week. And it just grows and grows and grows. And it means that every time Elemental make changes, I keep revisiting that course. But you keep paying $5.99. And obviously that then means if you don't like it, you stop being a member. So you don't have to log in to somewhere else to see the content. And then there'll be a members only area, and you can't view the videos unless you're a member via YouTube, via when you subscribe to the channel as a YouTube member. But then you'll get the code and everything there. And it's something I'm playing around with in my head, because part of me feels like it opens the door to more people to come and have a go with the course, with the content. And if you like it, you'll stick around. If you don't like it, you'll just stop. And you'll lose access to it, but you will have hopefully have learned something along the way. What's your thoughts on that? And I can see the comments coming in as well. Miguel says, the course is amazing. I'm truly great. Hey, no problems, Miguel. I'm glad you're liking it. Kwani, how you doing? $5.99 a month. You like that? Paper chunk of chapters. Dennis Lightstone, Muzaffar, $5.99. Miguel, $5.99. Dennis, I would do both. I guess you want people to go to your site. Well, the thing is, Dennis, you would still go to the site to get the code. So if there was like a longer explanation, you'd jump in. So I'm glad to see that people are kind of thinking along those lines, because it's not to make loads and loads of money, but I feel like when I first released version 2, the course was, I think it was $50. Was it 25? I think I released it starting off at 25. And even then, I knew that there were some people struggling to, pay for that kind of thing. Mark Harris, my main man. How you doing, Mark? If I was building a site from scratch as a new user waiting for the next lesson drop to move on. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Mark. So Mark makes a really good point here. And this is why, most likely, Mark, if I was going to do this, I would probably ensure that a bulk of it was done on how to build everything. And then I would probably say, right, the following week will be like the custom fields with the posts and all of that. And then the following week, the products. And then the following week, a little bit about SEO and stuff like that. So I would want to ensure that building the website from start to finish, you get all of that. You get all of that, the contact pages, the menus, the sub pages, all of that, any new features, fancy stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then the following week would be the loop grid and because I know from experience, my videos usually about 5 to 6 hours worth of content is like everything before you even start touching the posts, before you even get anywhere near the product. So it's like it could work from a like, here's loads of stuff, but here's what's coming. And it means that I can release things quicker as well. But you are right. I'd be annoyed too. So I've got to play around with it. Thanks for that, Robert Morrison, Yeaman. Do you do private consultations? I do. If you go to our website, learn.websquadron.co.uk, go right down to the bottom. Near the footer, there's a button for one-to-one consultation. I do provide it. I'm not the cheapest, but I'm not the most expensive either. And it's one-to-one video. We do it over video. Google Meet. I see you, you see me. We talk. You don't have to turn on your camera if you don't want, but we talk it out about problem solving or looking at your website, discussing ideas. Cost. So the cost at the moment, okay, is I can't remember. I don't know what it is in dollars because I'm only going to base it on British pounds. But it's £90 for 15 minutes, £160 for half an hour, £300 for 1 hour. And I don't make, there's no discounts. There's no like book 10 and you get a free hour. There's none of that with me. I rate time and value and all of that. I just want to double check that I've not missed any responses on here, because sometimes I do forget. Robert says, have you used 10W? AI site builder? Yeah, I have, and I think it was quite shit. I'll be honest. A lot of these site builders, right, are going to give you like a rubbish looking website, whatever, and then you're going to spend so much more time rejigging it. If you really want to consider a site planner, look at the Elemental site planner, okay? None of the site planners are perfect, but if I was going to use one and then rejig it with Elemental, I'd use the Elemental site planner. All right, because some of these other ones, half of them give you a website in Gutenberg. If you're going to use Elemental, you're going to have to rebuild everything, so use it as inspiration, but I guarantee you'll end up messing around with it. Robert says the possibility to consult with you with the course would be a huge benefit. So I would say, Robert, that would be good, but and some people have said to me, why can't we have a one-to-one? I bought your course. And I have to remind them that I charge £300 per hour. You've paid $100 for a course with a huge amount of content that took like nearly 5 weeks to produce. And you're getting it for $100. One-to-one is going to be extra. And I think you have to remember, or what I remind people of, is that if you worked with a lawyer, a dentist, or anyone else, you pay for a service, but if you want more, you pay for the time. So I do provide consultation. I provide quite a lot, regular basis with some people, with some businesses. They book me for like an hour or two every month. happily provide it, but that it has to be like compensated back for the time. Right, just quickly just roll down the comments. Dennis, the problem is that people have certain skills, for example, as beginner. Kevin Geary explains certain people with, for example, elemental breakdance. Sorry, I don't think I understand that one. The problem is that people are, yeah, sorry, I get what you mean now. Yeah. Right, back to work. Good to see you. Yeah, cheers, Mark. It's been a while. Jump. I'm gonna try to see, can I get back on to doing daily live chats? You know, can I get back onto it? And not give a crap if people pee me off, because it does happen quite a lot. Oh, sorry, yeah, Robert. Yeah, if you have questions, then what you do is you go to the Web Squadron Facebook group, right? So let me just put it up on screen. Let me see if I can get it on screen-ish. I probably can get it on screen. Just hold on a moment. Let me get it. Oh, there we go. Right. So go over to the Facebook Web Squadron group. If you've got questions you want to ask over here, you know, people, they ask questions, they post stuff up, and then we'll reply to it. You know, we'll try and provide examples. Maybe someone's after a bit of code. You know, it's not just me on here. We have a fair amount of people, and we do have a lot of pretty good, decent people. People on here on the chat. Kevin's on here as well. Paul Charlton's on here. Jeffrey from Lightbox is on here. Nick's on here. Atif's on here. We've got a lot of good people on here, right? So if you want to post your question, post it on there. It's okay to say, hi, something Imran said in the course. Can I get a bit of guidance? Can I get a bit of advice about it? You can do that, my friend. You can do that, and it's totally okay. Jawebwu, how do I pronounce your name? Jawebwu Free. Sound like a character out of Star Wars. Your idea is great, and wise people would definitely go for 100. Why not? Humble piece of advice. Outline your course details to make it more effective. Consider using a Notion page, sharing your web link. Give it a try. Yeah, I mean, you are right. You are right. I am actually in the process of planning out a complete redesign of the learn.web squadron homepage. Because I have client projects and one-to-one consultations and videos, and I'm always experimenting and looking at other plugins, code snippets, sometimes my selling page for the learn.web squadron, I'll spend a day on it and I'm never truly happy with it. And I need to massively revisit it. And I was going to look at it 2 weeks ago, delayed it last week, delayed it. But maybe in Easter break, I'm going to spend quite a bit of time, maybe 2 to 3 days minimum, just working through the homepage in terms of the course content, what you learn, what you get. Because I do totally agree that it's something I've not explained very well. Hey, Floyd, I'm okay, my friend. Hope you're okay too. Kwani, I love to be here at your channel to get the best tips and tutorials with the most updated practices. I'd love to be even more close to you to get this good content about building sites. The best way is to join the Web Squadron Facebook group. If you're allowed in. I have to be honest though, whenever someone says they want to join, I do go and look at your Facebook profile. And if I get a hint that you're maybe going to be politically minded, or you post content I don't quite like, and I know you shouldn't judge people on that, but if I get a feeling that someone or anyone is going to be like into conflict or into like, you know, rubbing people up the wrong way, I don't let people in. I do check everyone who says they want to go in. I don't just go, yep. I used to. And then I found myself kicking out 3 or 4 people every day. So now I actually go in, and if anyone has locked their profile, they don't get in. If they've got a fake profile pic, they don't get in. If they've posted anything that's, you know, is, you know, sexist, racist, toxic masculinity, Andrew Tatey, where they seem to say, I hate Elemental, I hate bricks, I hate this, I hate anyone that starts to feel like they don't like, aren't going to be contributing to the community, they don't get in the group, or I kick out as well. No, Elon Musk is okay. You know, Elon Musk, you know, whatever, like, you know, if you're into that stuff, I know what you mean, Floyd Bo. But like, I actually did kick someone out because I posted something and they compared it to Donald Trump. Now, I've got nothing against Donald Trump, okay? I'm not going to tell you who I like and do not like, all right? I don't like to get political. But the minute someone made a comment about Donald Trump, I was like, great, you've now turned it into a political post because someone's going to read that and react to it. So I don't like it if people use politics, the wars in different regions of the world, religion, gender, none of that. Because the community is meant to be, we're here to talk about WordPress and Elementor and page builders and bricks and custom fields and loop grids and WooCommerce. And we want to learn about user experience and SEO and how we evolve and getting clients. That is what we should be about. But there's too many groups where, you know, it just goes off like that. And I'm like, what was the point of the group? It starts to feel like, oh my God, we're now in Twitter. Because Twitter is like all over the place sometimes. So I'm very protective over the group. And I've kicked out someone who was a member of the group for a couple of years because they used the word, I'm going to tell you now, I'll be upfront, okay? They went and used the word, they said, you know, Elementor are so-called web designers. Now, I don't care if they had said bricks are so-called web designers, breakdowns are so-called web designers. I don't care what page builder they named. But the minute you say so-called web designers, you are now setting the conversation up for an argument. Because when I first started using WordPress 20 years ago, right? No, more than 20 years ago, 21 years ago, there were people who were hardcore web design builders. Like, I worked in the NHS and then I used to do analytics and analysis. And we had a separate team next door that did websites for hospitals and doctors and surgeries and stuff. And they found out I was designing websites. And they were like, what are you using? Dreamweaver and I went, no. I mean, I'd obviously played around with HTML and CSS and, you know, whatever was available then. When they found out I was using WordPress, they looked at me like I was a piece of shit. WordPress? What the fuck? That's not real web designing. Oh, you call yourself a web designer? And that has stayed up for a long time, even to this day. Forget Elementor, forget bricks, forget breakdance, forget Gutenberg, forget Quickly, forget all of that. The minute you say I'm a web designer, oh, what do you use? WordPress. Right? You're not using Magenta, Laravel, and all of this shit, right? Dreamweaver and all of that. You're not doing hardcore site. There's nothing wrong with it. But there is this, like, thing about how, like, the minute you call someone a so-called web designer, just because they're using WordPress, or even Wix, I don't like it when people start to go, oh, Wix, oh, they call themselves a web designer. I don't give a fuck what you're using. I don't care shitless, right? If you're using GoDaddy, then I will care. Then I will say, hold on, mate, we need to have a chat. But honestly, I don't care what platform you're using. I don't care what page builder you're using. If you are designing and or developing and you are helping yourself or a business or a client to achieve something, I don't care. No one has any right to call you a so-called web designer. And the minute they put that, I kick them out. And they've contacted me to go, oh, what did I do wrong? I don't care. I don't respond. Once you're out, you're out. I don't need to talk or chat to you ever again. Right? It's like Canva. How many of I was a massive Adobe. By the way, there's loads of comments coming in, so I'm going to quickly go back through them. By the way, Nick, I haven't spoken to your comment yet, but I will come back onto that. I was subscribed to Adobe, right? Photoshop, big time user, right? Then Creative Cloud came out. I was subscribed to that, using that left, right, center. Okay. Then I started to use Canva so much more and more and more. And by the time I got to 2020, I went, fuck it. I'm done with Adobe. I just use Canva now. So many people, when they go, oh, what do you use for your thumbnail art? I go, Canva. What? It was like editing with videos. I use CapCut. People say, what? You use CapCut for editing? That's quite rubbish. No, it's not. Before using CapCut, I was using iMovie. Again, people said, what? You're using iMovie? You're not using like some other software? No, because it works for me. I don't have to invest heavily into something you don't need. So I always say, so-called web designers, so-called editors, so-called videographers, so-called webcammers, so-called artists, designers, whatever. Whatever you use, whatever tool, even if you use AI, whatever you use, if it works for you and you're getting business and you're able to put a roof over your head, well done to you. Right, back onto the comments. Nick, hope you're all right, man. So Nick is saying he's thinking of changing to bricks. Have you heard whether the new Elementor will have cleaner code? Yeah, I've heard it, not seen it, but I have heard it is going to be a whole lot better. We are also told that Elementor is going to have their own global class system. How good will it be? We don't know. It's going to be a bit similar, I think, from the screenshots. Well, they were dummy screenshots, but stuff like with your active states, hover, pseudo classes, and all of that. So it could be a really, really really big, cool thing, but we'll wait to see. Kwani says his Facebook is completely old right now. I'll have to update it. Yeah, you better update it if you want to get into the group, my friend. But then again, if it's the same name, if I recognize your name, I'll let you in. But, you know, don't spam people. Don't say, hey, I can build your website. Be very careful. Floyd says, if I may ask you, since you're a contributor to WordPress, is there anything good in the pipeline? Not really. I've actually got bored of the WordPress contributing thing. I have found that it seems to be just like a chamber of people mouthing off, talking shit, bad-mouthing, all of that crap. In fact, I saw a Twitter post today where someone said that they listed out what they considered plugins that add a lot of bloat and are unnecessary, and Jetpack was one of them. And Matt Mullenweg replied to say, well, he replied, what did he say? I don't know if I can find it. Let me just get it on for my phone again. Oh, no, I've lost it. It's gone. It's not on my phone. You know, on Twitter, when you accidentally scroll down and then everything just changes. What he said was, I think he said, did he say over 20% have Jetpack, or a large portion of websites have Jetpack? So you can't say it's unnecessary. A large portion of people are using Jetpack, so don't call it a bloated plugin. When I install a brand new WordPress website, I ensure you don't have Akismet, Hello Dolly, and Jetpack. Get the fuck out of it. Get rid of those 3 plugins. The reason why Matt Mullenweg, and if you're listening, Matt, okay, I'm not trying to start a fight here, but please understand. The reason why a lot of websites probably are still using Hello Dolly and Akismet and Jetpack are because they come preloaded on the website. And a lot of people have not removed it. Does not mean they are using it or even understand what it does. You know when people say that? Because I could give you a phone, right? Okay, we know that all iPhones, right, they all come with where is it? And I think most people get rid of it. You know, the stocks and shares app on your iPhone, right? You could turn around and say 90% of iPhones in the world all have the stocks and shares app on their iPhone because it comes preloaded. How many of you actually go in and look and use that app? Doesn't mean it's an important, decent app to use. Do you get what I mean? So when Matt Mullenweg says Jetpack, I'm like, well, that's because it's preloaded. Of course it's active on loads of websites. God damn, I'm having a high blood pressure attack here, aren't I? Right, I'm going to skip some comments. Yep, Floyd, you're right. Adobe, perfect example. Rahul says, do you think Figma will be capable of generating code? Who knows? I think everything is possible, right? Did we think, look, let's go back in time, right? I'm 46 years old. when I was 10 years old, did I think I'd be able to just email people left, right, center? Did I think I'd be accessing the internet? No. I thought I'd still be going to libraries. You know, I thought things in science fiction where they go up to a computer and go, tell me about the weather, and it told them. I was like, whoa, that'll never happen. Way too far in the future. I'll be dead. Mobile phones, right? Did we think we'd be using that? AI in the last 3 years. Boom. Right, mind explosion as to where we are with AI and stuff we can do. So who knows, my friend? Robert, brilliant example. Guitarist. They play a song wonderfully. Doesn't matter what guitar it's played on. Exactly. Floyd, I hear you. It's like too many cooks spoil the cook. That is what happened to WordPress core. Absolutely. CM, do people design in Figma and then transfer to Elementor? It's subjective. I like to do a scribble, digital scribble, whatever I do. It's subjective. There's no, in my opinion, right or wrong answer. Depends on if the client is paying for it. You know, I know a lot of people that do Figma, but the client's not really paying for it. And then you have to do revision upon revision upon revision before you even start to build your website. Nick, really don't want to change as Elementor is so familiar. Do you like site planner accessibility? The site planner is good. I haven't massively gone into the accessibility widgets, and even if I did, I probably won't comment on it because I get a lot of flack from some accessibility experts who don't like it when someone else gate crashes the party. Exactly, Nick. Jetpack is pre-installed. Exactly. The fact that Matt was like, well, so many websites use it or have it. Well, duh. Like, I really get wound up by people that do not understand statistics. Don't forget, I used to do analytics, right? They just take a number and go, look at this. And they don't understand the basis of how the data was collected, where it came from, what does it actually mean? Is it significant? People just take, oh, well, there's loads of available. Yeah, Floyd, Hello Dolly. Why is Hello Dolly an Akismet? Akismet, right, 20 years ago was pretty all right. I'm not going to say it was brilliant, but it was pretty damn all right. Good to use, right? By 2010, Akismet was like, yeah, not really cutting it. In the last 15 years, if you're one of those people who thinks that I've got a WordPress website for me or my client, and I just have to use Akismet, and I'm protected, wait till you get hit by malware or something. You'll have a rude awakening, right? I mean, it was good 20 years ago. Now, I don't want to say anything that gets me done for defamation, but Kwani, Figma right now is going very much ahead with code. If you have dev mode on, I don't really use Figma much anymore. Kwani says, I think you should keep talking about everything you feel is necessary. SEO, accessibility, performance, they are so much important. They are. And I have done videos on how Elementor have massively improved the performance side. Okay. And I did not do a performance video for 2025. I've done one every year for 3 years. January the 1st, I released them. I did not do one for 2025 because I feel like everything is very, very good right now. I still recommend you use the code snippets, WebP images. I would still, even though Elementor now do the local loading of Google fonts, there is a part of me that still feels like you should custom load them. I just have this thing about, you know, I have found it to be very negligible in terms of the improvement compared to custom loading versus the local loading that Elementor now do. But there is still a part of me that feels you should custom load it. There's just something about the way I like to work and do stuff. Hey, John Cyanidis, hope you're doing okay. So from a performance side of things, they have massively improved. There is still a fair amount of DOM that is being loaded. However, I did a video on this about a year ago where I looked at Elementor, Bricks, Breakdance, Gutenberg, and Generate Press, I think it was. And I found that from the get-go, right, you will hit 100% with your mobile and desktop brand new website. But there is more DOM, but from the get-go, you will hit 100%. As you build out your pages, right, the scores will go like that, up and down a bit, whether you use Breakdance, Bricks, or Elementor, all right? And obviously Elementor has more DOM, but your scores will do that. The minute you use a plugin like FastPress or WP Rocket, which I don't rate WP Rocket. I really seriously don't. I don't get why a lot of people pay a premium for a plugin where you don't have full control over what it's doing or what it exactly does. I don't get it. You can do almost everything with conscientious page building, right? FastPress plugin. Make sure you regenerate and purge your servers every now and again, which you would have to do with WP Rocket anyway. WebP images, custom loaded font. You do that, okay, when you're building, your scores go back up. You're going to still have to use code snippets and FastPress or other performance plugins, whether you use Elementor, Bricks, or Breakdance, okay? The difference is 3 years ago, when you loaded an Elementor website, before you built anything, your score would be 65 to 70% on the mobile. You'd be in the 90s for desktop, but your mobile 65, 70-ish percent with Elementor. And Bricks was 100. Breakdance, they're all up there. Last year, Elementor did so many improvements, right, that when you load up a brand new website now, and it might be blank, you're at 100%. You do your header, you're still at 100%. You do your hero banner, you're still at 100%. The minute your score will go start dive bombing when you ignore good practice, WebP, custom loaded fonts, thinking about the way you build, right? Not, I don't care what page builder you use, but if you go and stick heavy duty videos and carousels in your hero banner or your header, your score's going to dive bomb, right? And you can use as many performance plugins as you want. You will still be lingering in the 60, 70 range, right? Conscientious building. Robert, how do you determine right size and format? It comes down really to the content, Robert. You got to look at the content. There is no one trick answer. It all depends on the image, the content, the purpose of the content, what you need to see on the desktop versus the mobile. So it all depends. You know, big wide image, small image, little tiny image, little thumbnail. It all depends on that. So there's a lot of thinking that goes into it. Sorry, CM says, do you upload WebP or let the site? I never ever let SiteGround image optimizer. CM, I always optimize my images manually using bulk resizephotos.com. I know Elementor have the image optimizer, but there's something about the way I like to work where I still optimize manually because I have full-on control over the quality, the sizing, and all of that. And I do that, and it's absolutely fine. Floyd, object fit, absolutely good answer there. But again, I would always say it depends on what are you showing. And do you need to reconsider the sizing when you get for even the desktop, let alone when you get to the mobile, and do you have to swap out with another image? So a lot of it depends. You know, even with your text, little text wrap balance, big text, you know, so it all comes down to what do you got? So whenever someone says it's got to be this, it's got to be that, no. Survey what you got. It's like when you cook, right? You look at your ingredients and then you'll determine, have I got enough meat to do this? Have I got enough pastry to make that? Have I got enough vinegar for my chips? Right? You got to work it out. And make sure you do it on a decent sized monitor, right? Don't go for a scrimpy small screens, right? What does it look like on the desktop? I prefer to build desktop first. And then when I get to the mobile, I then go, right, what can I now lose? What can I resize? I know people say mobile first, but if you're going to be brutally honest, right, mobile first is important. But if you're attracting big businesses, right, and a lot of people that are going to make sales, not everyone is going to just go on their mobile, right? Businesses, when they're making business decisions about what are we going to get now and what are we going to do and who are we going to work with, and, you know, and they'll have a team of PR experts and stuff, they'll go for the desktop. So I prefer desktop build, and it might have 50 elements, and then I might get rid of 20% of them when I get to the mobile. So I shrink it down, and that's how I like to work. Just going to check some of the comments coming in. I'm not going to reply to every comment, but I am going to say, Kwani, Dennis, Rahul, a lot of what you guys are saying, I do agree with you on this. Yeah, Dennis, you're right. Preloading images, you have less problem. Depends though, you know, do you have to preload the image? It becomes more important when you're doing a hero banner. Dennis, Google wants exact image sizes. Absolutely. And this is where you might have a huge image, right? Like you get one for like, people take images on their iPhones, whatever, right? And the image, I've seen images that are like 20 megabytes, right? 20 megabytes. And people are then going, they then like WebPing it and go, oh, but WebP still created a 3 megabyte image. Yeah, because you got a 20 megabyte image, which is like 6,000 pixels by 4,000. What the fuck do you need a 6 by 4,000 pixel image for? Shrink it down. Shrink it down and then convert it down to WebP. Oh, that's too much hard work. Well, fuck off then. I can't help you. Every time someone says to me, right, oh, I've got to convert all my images. Fucking do it or stop whinging. There are ways to convert. I've got links. I think I've got to do a video where I share what do you do when you get a load of 20 megabyte huge images from your client and you need to get them into WebP, and even when you WebP them, they're still big. What do you do? I need to do a video on that because there's a couple of free websites that are going to help you out. A lot of people will say, well, just use Adobe and just go here, but not everybody has Adobe. Not everybody has certain software. What can you do for free? For free, people, so that you can even tell your client to do it. And if your client don't do it, you can do it. Do you get what I mean? I get really angry when people go, oh, 20 megabyte, oh, I've got 100 images. Well, that's not my fucking fault, right? You went out there with your huge power camera just to get a photo of your mouse, and you went, oh, I've got to get the lighting, and ooh. And then you come back with a 30 megabyte image of that. You should have just gone to Amazon and ripped off the image there. What was the point of getting a special high def? Because you're not going to sit there and make it spin, are you, as you're scrolling down the page? Look at my mouse. Look at my mouse. Sometimes some people just, like, because I had this with someone. There are 20 images and there were 20 megabytes. And you know what pissed me off the most, right? This is really going to get you really bad. They took them all on whatever phone they had. I don't think it was an iPhone, but all the images were like 20, 25 meg, right? All of the images were portrait. I told them before, that ain't going to work for your hero banner. And now they wanted to use the images on their hero banner. And I was like, fucking hell, man. The bulk of your images is here and here, right? Because rather than doing it landscape, so we got the top and the bottom and the middle, the bulk of it, right? The important bits were there, and you got middle, portrait, hero banner. Like, you don't want to slap them. You want to get them in front of you, get your hands either side of their ears, and slam their brain flat. Because that's about as much consciousness. How do you find the live chats? Some people have said that they're like shocked. They go, "Oh, you're so nice in the course and in your videos." And then we come on the live chat and you're like slam dunking, and I'm like, "Well, that's the real me. This is the real me. This is where I can be a little bit more real, because we have to be real. We have to be honest, okay?" John says, I did everything I could with free plugins and code snippets. My mobile score wasn't getting anything above 75, but with WP Rocket, it went to 98.99. I mean, WP Rocket is good, but sometimes I do wonder about what does it do and what could you have done yourself as well. Right, I'm going to scroll down the comments. Jabru has a question. Jabwoo. I have a question for you, Imran. What trends do you see shaping the future of websites in terms of WooCommerce, Shopify? Simple. We have to get back to simple websites. There's too much of this there's too much of this thing about like 3D animation, things floating, overuse of scrolling effects. People don't always like that sort of thing. And here's why. You're assuming that everyone's browser can handle what you do. You're also assuming that everyone will be out and about where they have got optimum internet Wi-Fi connection. And there's too much is being asked of people, especially crazy busy websites. You click here and it goes here and it goes there. And I'm like, I just want to buy the computer. Why do I have to go through here and here and here and here? Also, when it comes to simplicity, it's being transparent. Too many people hide things. How many times have you seen websites where they go, hey, do you want to buy this product? Do you want to sign up for something? But they don't tell you what the pricing will be once you start using the product. They make they like to throw it at you later on. And I feel like we need to go back to simple websites. And it's something that Google have said for a while as well. It's something I really believe. Some people have said that the tutorials I do, they're way too simple. They're way too simple. Well, yeah. Because at the end of the day, that is what works. And a simple layout made stronger with strong words, strong headlines, key things, things that are not waffly. Blah, 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 blah. You get to the point. And brilliant images that relate to the branding and the color. That is how I see things going, right? In the old days, you would have built a website for someone and they go, my branding is blue, white, and black. Great. That's your branding, your color palette. And then they give you a color, a photo, and the photo is red, green, and yellow. And you kind of go, no, okay, yeah, we'll use it. And then you got another photo, which is like blue, but it's now yellow, orange, purple, cyan, turquoise, loads of other colors. And it doesn't really relate to the brand, but you build it. And I think going forwards, we're going to see more websites that are now honing in on the fact that if you want to get across that you are serious, trustworthy, if you're going to have a brand or a color or a business message, we got to make the website dance to that tune. And we have to now say to clients that send in whatever image they want, no, that does not work. Yeah, but I want that image. No, I know you want that image, but if you really want people to stick around on your website and trust you, you got to now think a little bit different. And I think simple websites is the way to go. I hope that made sense, my friend. Just scrolling down. Yes, what Kwani is saying there, Robert, is absolutely right. But what I will also say is that, you can get your images way down much more. You can get your images down to 100, 200 kilobytes easily, and that's okay. I would always say try and get under 200 if you can, depends on the size of the image, but also have a think about the image. I see too many websites where people have got a massive image, which I think is ugly, and it would have been better smaller with stronger words. I've seen people with like small images and words, but the words were like, ugh. So you were better off like drawing me in with the image. You made it small, but it's so detailed. I'm going, oh, what are they doing? What are they, what they're wearing, kind of thing. So there is a compromise about strong image, strong wording, but you also have to be able to educate clients about, does the wording or the photo deserve to be on your website? There's too many people. I've had clients like this, right? One we did recently, and I was like, God, this is shit. They had like 40 images, and the images were of like tarmac and stuff. And I just felt like this is repetition. How many images do you want to show of tarmac on the road and whatever, and like people laying tarmac? 40 images, I get it in 5 or 6. I don't need to see 10 images of the same road taken from different angles. Tell me what benefit I get from looking at a road of tarmac from different angles. You could argue that with the phone, you'll have the front, the back, the side like that. It's like a mouse. You'll have that. You'll have the reverse. You'll have that. Whatever word you call it, view. You'll have a side one and maybe a back. I don't need to have 20 photos of this. I don't need to have a photo like that, and then one like that, and then one like that, and then one like that, and one like that. We're not creating a 3D spinning, rotating model here. But does the photo deserve? Yeah, front view, top view, side. Does the photo deserve to be on the website? Does the photo and the text educate me about what you're offering or selling? If not, why is it there? Why is it there? And that's the problem, right? With about pages. I've seen about pages that are like that. Did I need to know everything about your life? Did I need to know about every qualification? Did I need to know about your family? Did I need to know about why you decided to start this business? One day I was sat in the office and then I realized, I'm really good at making bags. So I decided to give up my career and I handed in my notice and I started making bags and I went down the shop. No one cares. Unless the story is very, very significant for the user. Because if I'm going to buy a bag, I don't need to know that you gave up your job. Right? I don't need to know that. If, however, your website is about how I can give up a job and still earn money and be happy by doing other stuff, then I need to know, because your story now will be one that might reflect with me. But if I want to buy a bag, I don't need to know about your life. I just need to know about how you make the bag and why your bags mean something. So this is where you will say, I've been making bags for 5 years, and I've been making it more cost effective and efficient and good for the environment, long lasting, longevity, and all of that. And that's what I've produced. And I know you're going to love what I do. That makes sense. I don't need to know, though, that you hated your job and you hated your family and you hated your car. And your cat shat all over your fish and chips, but you ate it and then you realized later and you got sick. I don't need to know none of that. None of that. Does it deserve its place? Okay. I think today's live chat has been all over the place, right? But I feel like sometimes that's what makes live chat so goddamn good. I don't like to stick to a topic. I like to see what is the topic of the day and we run with it. Kwani says, I understand what you're saying. Recently, I got a client that had a restaurant. At the end, it was full of pictures of dishes. Oh my God. It was a very visual person, so I had no way to run. Oh my God. Dishes. Why do we need to see the dish? You might want to see a table layout. I would say like a photo that showed the table and all of that with the layout. That makes sense. But just like dishes stacked up. Dirty dishes, right? Kwani, I feel for you, mate. Imran would make a Twitch stream. Oh, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, Floyd, I have started thinking about, do I need to start streaming out onto LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff like that, and TikTok? But it's always, I don't know, it can get quite messy sometimes. Exactly, Dennis. Tell the benefits and something about the qualities. Question you got is there any good explainings about simple animations in bricks? I think there are some videos. Uduro Cracker, you might want to go and see. Cracker, C-R-A, oh God, C-K-A. Uduro, U-D-O-R-O, Uduro Cracker, you'll find him. He might have some stuff on it. By the way, though, if you are struggling, Dennis, just open ChatGPT and just say, I want to do some animations with Bricks Builder, and it will give you step-by-step instructions, so that might help you out. Bricks Forge, there you go, Floyd, because I don't use Bricks that much anymore. Especially because I found Elemental has improved in a lot of areas. So yeah, I mean, interactions are there. I've covered off interactions. I've done 3 or 4 videos on that, so you will find that as well. Jabru says, what are your thoughts on WordPress headless architecture header? How do you see its future? I kind of answered that earlier. For a basic website, it works. For an e-commerce or more complicated stuff, I don't think it does, but I'm not that massively experienced in it. CM, does it make sense for your website developers to build their own? Does it make sense, sorry, for website developers? By the way, I'm going to close down in 2 minutes. I've been live now for 1 hour 10, and I am going to crack on with some other work. I've got other stuff to do. I can't stay here forever. Will I be back tomorrow? I'll see, but maybe yes, maybe no. We'll see. If you've enjoyed it, please do let me know. Smash the like button, though. CM, does it make sense for website developers to build their own online side hustle, drop shopping, e-commerce? It's up to you. Have you got a resource for drop shipping that will work for you? And can you market it? And if you think you can, do it. You get sales, you get sales. I've got courses. If I sell, I sell. I've got stuff I have. If they sell, they sell. I do stocks and shares. If I make a profit, I make a profit. So when it comes to like doing your own little online thing, it's entirely up to you, but you have to take it seriously kind of thing. And you have to understand that you will not make money overnight. I'm going to talk about something tomorrow, though, about get rich schemes. I think I'm going to leave that till tomorrow because I've got a lot to say about that. But it's about what you put in and where do you market it, and do you think the audience will get it? Miguel, I think that Miguel says, I think this can be a bit FF topic, but what are your thoughts about AI search? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think I use AI massively every day, every morning, every night, massively. So I think AI is a pretty good thing. Kwani, can we talk about animations using Elementor? I find it difficult with Elementor. Look, you got motion effects, you got scrolling effects, okay? You don't want to overdo it. You can add in animations that autoplay. You got Lottie animations as well. Again, though, don't do animations just because you saw someone else do it. Think about your core audience, the people who are going to buy something off you. Think about them. And it might be great to impress them, but don't overdo it. Okay, don't overdo it. I'll do it if I know the client really wants it or I think it can help make things better. Otherwise, I don't overdo it, because there's nothing worse when you're on a mobile website and there's animations all over the place. Flying in, hover effect, flip card, this and that. You click, everything just constantly changes. And I'm like, oh, I'm bored of this now. Get fed up. So don't overdo it. Nick says, I know you said Elementor's improved, but is there any reasons you don't use bricks too much? Okay, it comes down to the fact that if I build for a client and the client may look after the website on themselves, it is far easier for me to teach them how to use Elementor. That's the first thing. Number 2, if I drop dead, I may need to find someone to help them with their Elementor website. There's a bigger load of tutorials. There's a bigger pool of developers that can help them out. And number 3, and I'm going to be really controversial when I say this, but I think you have to agree that I'm talking the utter truth here. There is less toxicity, because if, say, I built a website in bricks and the person was 85 years old and they jump into bricks and go, I need to do this, there is a higher chance they will get attacked because they don't know what they're talking about than if they are, say, in the Elemental. You will not agree with me on this, but I know this is how I feel about it. I got nothing against bricks, but I think bricks is more for veterans who understand how to build. They got a efficient, methodical way of building. That doesn't mean Elementor users don't, but I'm thinking about who's looking after the website, right? Who's looking after it? So if you feel like, you know, you're going to be handing over to someone where you're no longer going to be working with them and they'll look after their website and they, you know, want to learn themselves, it's easier for me to hand over and for them to transition and learn in Elementor than it is in some other page builders. And not just Bricks, but other page builders. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with Bricks. I want to make that clear. So if anyone takes what I've said and sound bites it, please watch and understand what I've said in full. Yeah? You understand what I mean? Yeah, there's I mean, GSAP, Andrea, go and watch her videos. But again, think hard and carefully about, did you need to see it? I use ChatGPT. I've used DeepSeek a bit. I have found, though, that Grok 3 has become one of my favorites. Grok 3 is bloody good. And ChatGPT 4.0 failed in a lot of areas on some coding I was doing. Like, I spent a couple of days and it kept failing and getting it wrong or not producing. I tried once in Grok, once, and it got the right answer that I needed on the first go. Like, boom, moment. DeepSeek couldn't do it. ChatGPT couldn't do it. Claude couldn't do it. I went to Grok 3, first go. If that was not proof that, whoa, this is big, this is brilliant, worked brilliantly for me. No, Floyd, you are right. I mean, Bricks is good, but it's all about like the learning curve, because I could give a website Elementor and the chance of them there's a chance they could break it, Elementor. But if you give Bricks and they go and mess something up in the class system, they can totally mess up the way it looks. And then they might not realize they changed something and they didn't realize it changed it for everything. So it's going to be interesting to see how Elementor handle making it risk-free so that I can still pass over to people. Right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. I hope you've enjoyed the live chat. Grok. No, it's Grok 3. So go and type in Grok 3. Let me just type it in here. Grok 3. And I'm going to actually get the link for it, because if you type in Grok 3, it will take you to other websites and you don't want to go to the wrong ones. Let me just get you the correct link for Grok 3. You do need a Twitter account to log in. So what you do is go over, it will ask you to sign in. Sign in with your Twitter ID and you'll be absolutely fine with it. All right, everyone. It is a Twitter app in a way, but you can use it on your desktop. Don't use the mobile app. It ain't, you know, you're going to be sat there typing. No, do it on your desktop, all right? I've got a Mac. It works on whatever machine you got. Go to that link. You log in with your Twitter ID. That's not an affiliate link because there is no commission for it whatsoever. All right, everyone, I'm going to say goodbye. Go and do some other stuff. Might even go for a wee break. Take care. See you soon. Bye.